a look at protected members. What is protected members? Is basically, if you create a class, you will see these three things appear. You will see a public, you will see a protected, and then you will see a private. Here what we are going to talk about is basically this protected member. How does it act, and is it useful, or like what does it do, some kind of thing like that. So here what we are going to do is I'm going to introduce some variables to see how it works. So I'm going to introduce integer public v, public variable, and then here I'm going to introduce a variable protected variable, and then private variable, integer private variable. Now the difference between public, protected, and private variable is public and protected can be accessed outside of this class. We can call them and access for any kind of function, certain programming and stuff like that. But private, it's only owned by this class, so we cannot use it outside of this class. And to see that, I'm gonna run a code to prove this one. Okay, so here we have daughter and daughter CPP. I'm gonna do something with that to show this one how it's different. Okay, let's go to this void daughter CPP. Okay, I'm gonna go to daughter CPP, and here I'm gonna create a function called void daughter, and then double dot like this, do something. This is our function name, and then here I'm gonna assign some values for private, public, private, and protected. So let's start with one by one so you can see the difference. Here I already did the prototype. Here you have to, if you don't have the prototype, you have to do the prototype for the function we created right here. Do something is our function name, so we have to do the void do something as a prototype. In the mother there's nothing, and in the mother.h headline we have created these three variables, and in the main function we are gonna do some coding to print it out. So first let's go ahead and assign a variable, assign a number for public v. Let's say that is equal to 1. Okay, now here we can see in class we have introduced this variable public v is introduced. For the protected, we introduce a variable inside of the protected, that is protected v, and inside of the private we introduce a variable called private v. Here what we are trying to access is public v, and when I go ahead and run this code, like let's create the code to run this one. To run this one, I'm gonna create a code in the main function. That first I have to create an object since we are dealing with class. So daughter Tina, because we are trying to access this daughter file. Here if we call this class and create an object only, then this will happen, right? So to access that class we have to create an object. So I put daughter, and Tina is our object name, and after that Tina dot, and then we call the function we created, that is do something. And after we create this function, it should actually work. But here we are not putting any printout statement or anything. So if the code run without error, it means this this public v is actually accessing this one. If it accessing only, we don't get any error. So let's go ahead and run this one, build and run. So we are not getting any error, we are getting this thing. It means that code is actually going through because it's accessing the public v. But if you do that for protected v, let's see what happens. Let's say protected v, let's equate that one to true, and let's go ahead and run this code again, and it's still working. So you can see protected can also protected also can be accessed outside of the class. But let's look at this private v. Let's assign some value and let's try to print this one. Private v, that's, let's say that's equal to 3, and I'm going to go ahead and run this code, and you see that we are getting an error. It's because private v cannot be accessed outside of this class. So that's the difference between public protected and private v. Public and protected can be accessed in the like outside of the class, and you can use somewhere else. But for the protected v, for the private, you cannot access outside of the class. And that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next video.